Hello and welcome. You're with India Post Live. I'm Ishan Russell, and today we are talking about the big battle in this Lok Sabha election. They call it the mother of all battles. That is in Banaras, where you have Narendra Modi, of course, the BJP's prime ministerial candidate, facing off with Arvind Kejriwal. And an interesting development has happened over there. The Qawmi Ekta Dal candidate Mukhtar Ansari, who is a local, some say a Don-turned politician, has decided to withdraw from that race. Now that really changes the equations on the ground as far as voting goes on caste and community basis. That happens often in UP. How is all that changing? We'll be discussing that. And if you want to come in and participate in this conversation, you're most welcome to do so. Just log on to indiapostlive.com and log in and post your comments over there. Or you can also use Twitter, hashtag IndiaPostLive to your tweets, or use the Twitter handle at IndiaPostLive. So on that note, let's start our discussion. Today in the studio, I have with me and on Skype, political editors from across the spectrum. From the Outlook Group, there's Sabah Naqvi joining us. Thanks very much for coming in, Sabah. From firstpost.com, Sanjay Singh joins us, and Sanjeev Singh, our resident political editor, is also here. And all of you are very familiar with the state of Uttar Pradesh. So Sanjay, I'll start with your ladies first. Sabah, I'll start with you. How does Banaras shape up after this news of yesterday, Mukhtar Ansari withdrawing from the race?
It's still very early because we've got a month to go before polling day. But Mukhtar got almost, he got 17,000 less than Murli Manohar Joshi in 2009. Banaras' Muslim population is very specific of a certain type. It has mainly people, julahas, the weaving, people who've made business of the weaving. It has a more monolithic Muslim population than other seats would have, for one. And also, the question has been with Mukhtar announcing his entry sometime. When I was in Banaras, it happened. The question was that why was he doing so? Because this time he did not have the BSP ticket. Last time it was on the BSP vote. Then he got the Muslim as a block. Now, the thing about Mukhtar being so formidable, it's a double-edged thing also. The BJP, local BJP, because I spent a week there, was also very happy to have Mukhtar on board. It fits in very well with the sort of imagery of a good nationalist like Modi versus this bad gunda, Mussalman like Mukhtar. But many residents of Banaras will also tell you, and many Muslims also said to me, कि मुख्तार भाई आए, उन्होंने लड़ाई तो दी जोशी को, लेकिन कांग्रेस के कुछ वोटर भी मुरली मनोहर जोशी की तरफ गए. So a figure like Mukhtar polarizes, as much as he can also bring the, the minority community out. But when I went, after Mukhtar's announcement, when I went to those areas of Banaras, where there was no clarity, there was a lot of desire among younger people to examine Kejriwal. But certainly in a high-profile seat like Banaras, where Mr. Modi is going there, where there's going to be a high wattage campaign, where the Muslim community is more homogeneous, it fits in more to that homogeneity stereotype than is usually the case. In such a situation, yes, I think there will be overall a consolidation trend. And I'm saying this today when I believe the Muslim vote has been divided. So this whole idea of the Muslim monolith is not true, It's been divided in parts of western UP which went to the poll. But in Banaras, I expect they will rally around one candidate. Now the other element is Mr. Rai of the Congress, who has just been announced. I don't know now how the equations will go, and but it'll be very interesting. But the Congress, in my own estimate, is not looking like a winner anyway. Neither is Aam Aadmi Party a player in Banaras. But because they are planning to move lock, stock and barrel into Varanasi after on the 14th, the whole lot, and they have pulled off surprises which we cannot factor in right now. He'll get beaten up, he'll get bashed up. Also, the media's campaign against Mr. Kejriwal, I find that on the ground, it's going down badly. The man is getting beaten up and the media is making fun of him. So, I don't know how these things are going to play out. you know.
All right, so still some time to go, so
There's
you
still
would
some
not
time. Yeah,
take a
yeah,
call right now.
yeah.
Sanjay, what about you?
See, Mukhtar Ansari's withdrawal of candidature, though candidature has not been filed, it will start on 17th. That is a most interesting development. I spent past few days in Western UP. I visited Deoband, Muzaffarnagar, Saharanpur, and one thing is very clear that these elections are more polarized than any other elections I have ever seen. They say that this is more polarized than 91, 96, 98, 99. If that be the case, then rest assured as to if Western UP is showing a trend, what is going to happen in rest of the part, because that trend will be followed. In that context, if you look at Banaras or even otherwise, because what happens after Mukhtar Ansari withdraws his candidature? The issue was not Modi is winning or losing, or is there a contest, or is there not a contest. It's not mother of all battles. It's most hyped kind of elections. The scenario before, there is nobody in contest with Narendra Modi. Let us accept that fact. Beyond that, the result, if at all Mukhtar Ansari was there, the result would have been for other candidates whether they save their deposit. If they save their deposit, what is the margin? Now, with Mukhtar Ansari withdrawing his candidature, obviously Muslim votes are going to go somewhere. And that vote will be, I'm sure, anti-Modi vote, as it is going to happen in Western UP. Even in Western UP, there is a broad polarization. Like, I'll give you an example of Saharanpur. Congress figures nowhere in Western UP, nor in rest of the UP, except for the family pocket boroughs, or one or two places where some individual candidates or something is. Imran Masood of Congress, though he's a turncoat, Imran Masood has galvanized.
The one famous for the hate speech.
His hate speech chopped Modi into pieces. He has turned into a massive hero. Till a day ago or two, I had a feeling that Muslim vote could be divided. Some sections could go to BSP. Sadan Masood is his cousin. Some votes could go to him also. He is SP candidate. When Mulayam Singh Yadav came a few days back, though in rest of the Western UP, the votes, Muslim votes are going to Samajwadi Party. They have returned to, there are various grievances all relating to Muzaffarnagar riots. In that case, the broad scenario is how much of Hindu votes are going to go for Congress candidate in Saharanpur. So, if he gets some, he wins some. Now coming to...
why are you leaving BSP out of it? I mean, there's a party, you're just saying it's all gone to SP anyway.
Broadly,
I would disagree with that, you know.
Yeah, that is my assessment of the situation. Not many votes are going to BSP as of now. The situation that I saw there, maybe Sava has a different take. That's possible because after all, what you see and what the other person see, of course, are two different things. Now with Mukhtar Ansari withdrawing, the only thing is the opposition candidate, Ajay Rai or Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal has in any case gone there for certain hype for long-term perspective of his own and his party, because the kind of publicity that he gets otherwise, if he had not gone Banaras, he would not have got same kind of publicity out there. Ajay Rai has shown that he has guts to take on Modi. He asked for a ticket when other top Congress leaders, initial noises were made by too many people. They all ultimately withdrew. So Ajay Rai, in that case, he has kind of leveraged his stock within Congress and outside. He is also a local strongman. His own caste man. Bhumiyar's vote is roughly, they say, varies from 1.5 to something.
Yeah.
Now, where is this 3 lakh or 4 lakh votes are going to go?
Whose vote are
The
we
Muslim
talking?
vote.
Muslim
I
But
think.
there are other votes also. Please
Yeah, I
don't
think
imagine that everybody else is voting for Mr. Modi.
Yeah, and I want
mean,
to get
that
Sanjeev on-
presumption that only Muslims are not voting for him. Your whole, I mean,
Yeah, because it seems, you seem to be suggesting the consolidation of
I'm
the
not-
I'm
so-called
saying
Hindu
Modi is
vote.
ahead,
No, no.
but there are many others who
No,
also don't want to
I'm
vote
not
for him.
saying that 100% Hindu votes are going to go for other candidates. I'm giving a picture as to what is happening, what kind of polarization is there. Banaras, obviously, whatever percentage. See, what is happening in Banaras? Broadly, Modi, I don't think there is a real contest out there in the ground, on the ground. in that scenario, the vote percentage of Arvind Kejriwal or Ajay Rai is going to go up. Who they are going to vote? Who is going to get that decent vote? If Arvind Kejriwal gets a decent number against Modi, obviously he is going to hype it as his own victory, even if it does not get a number. Congress, if it gets good votes, then it is Congress's kind of scenario that, look, we got this much of votes against Modi in Banaras.
All right, Sanjeev, what do you make of this battle for Banaras? Because is there a consolidation of the Hindu vote to such an extent that they could vote en masse, like many would suggest, the Muslim vote would go against Modi?
Well, of course, I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out that the Muslim vote will go against Narendra Modi. But I have my reservations to what Sanjay sir was saying. Basically, you see, Ajay Rai is not that weak a candidate as we are making him out to be. Perhaps the only problem that we face is that the Congress took so much time to decide on the candidate. Had they announced Ajay Rai before Arvind Kejriwal came into the fray, it would be a lot easier for the Congress to galvanize whatever votes that, now with Mukhtar, stepping out of the ring, that vote would have gone to Ajay Rai. Because if you talk in terms of the locals of Varanasi, okay, it may be an issue that, Narendra Modi is the prime ministerial candidate. But at the end of the day, you still have those potholes and you have those dirty lanes, by lanes in Banaras. And be it Arvind Kejriwal or Narendra Modi, none of them are going to look after that. So the only person they can catch is perhaps Ajay Rai. And he also has that BJP background in him. So I will not write him off so quickly. And in all the calculations that everyone is doing, I would perhaps think that, it is Ajay Rai because of the local factors that, he would put up a strong candidature against Narendra Modi than Arvind Kejriwal of the Aam Aadmi Party.
Would you agree with that, Sabha?
It's early. I would give it another week because a lot of decisions, there'll be a lot of community-wise calculations. I would give it another week and then I would call on that. But I think that we are also underestimating, because I saw what the Aam Aadmi Party was doing there. I saw that we are underestimating their ability to run that low-key kind of campaign. And the potholes and you see the thing with Banaras is that none of the locals have ever bothered about the potholes. Neither did the people who get elected locally or from outside. So there is this. It's an amazing contradiction as a place in terms of this divine and death, and then a city which is one of the worst urban nightmares in Uttar Pradesh. So it's, and what the AAP people tend to do is that they tend to come out with an urban manifesto. They'll do all that. They're going to move their whole
How
team.
much would the BHU be a factor, students of BHU?
No, in the intellect, there's this one, what I would call a radio, a meter, a thermometer of Banaras called the Pappu Chai Shop of Assi Ghat, where the BHU guys used to sit. So it used to be a liberal place. Over the years I've gone there every election. This time it's a complete BJP takeover. And the BJP chaps, they are sitting outside on the road. Because there's not very many places. It's an interesting it's a very fascinating place, Banaras. But I'm just saying, yes, I agree to an extent that Ajay Rai logically should be a candidate, a strong candidate, but there is too much of many people are not wanting to vote for the Congress, including minorities.
Yeah,
because they feel that, okay, God, we are the only ones who don't have that choice. That only we have to keep looking at the Congress. There is that sentiment which I was there in Delhi also. Because there were the old timers who still say, nahi, hum hamesha Congress ko dete. But a lot of younger people are saying, yeah, kya hamari kya majburi hai ki hame Congress ko hi dena hai? In places. Now, since the SP and the BSP are not strong candidates in Banaras. But, so I think the situation is developing, but we must not lose sight of the fact that to expect people to vote for a party which is not looking good. Look, I mean, I'll say one thing. For Priyanka Gandhi saying I'm only campaigning for my mother and my brother in Raebareli, Amethi, I mean, I'm not saying she should lunge into politics, but Varanasi is a few hours drive. Should she not be bothering about the other candidates? Should she, I mean, are these not questions we should ask ourselves if the Congress expects to get this great secular sort of profile? I mean, to my mind, do I just look out for my little family and let other people sort of go to hell? I mean, so that's sort of, I have these questions about what is going on right now. It's early. So I would partly agree with what he's saying, but I feel that somehow the Congress may not be able to withstand this sense of resentment, this sense of hostility that could be there.
All right. I'd just like to remind all our viewers that if you want to participate, ask our experts anything, you're most welcome to do so. You can join us via Skype. You can log on to indiapostlive.com and register your comments over there, or join us via Twitter. Just hashtag IndiaPostLive to your tweets, or use our Twitter handle at IndiaPostLive. Sanjay sir, as far as the BJP strategy goes for Banaras, they play their cards really well. They tied up with that Apna Dal, which has what 2.5 lakh votes, if I'm not mistaken, in Banaras alone.
And Mukhtar was trying to tie up with them.
Yeah, and the
Just
Congress
calling each
also
other,
was in backroom negotiations with them for 2 months before this. They couldn't close the deal, and the BJP managed to. So the BJP has its house in order as far as this election is concerned for Banaras.
See, for Banaras, obviously, since Narendra Modi is there, obviously, if house is not in order, the hype is so much, he is God for BJP now. And to his credit, he has single-handedly swung the elections, whatever is there on the ground for the BJP, it's for Modi, it's not actually for the BJP. So whatever incremental votes are coming, or BJP has a winning possibility, which to an extent looks real to BJP, that is because of Narendra Modi and no other factor. Remember, 6 months back, there were stories of bickering where BJP is going, complete chaos and disorder. From there on, if somebody swings election to this extent, that he has galvanized, captured imagination of a lot of people. That is besides the point. In Banaras people actually had always, as Sabha said, or as Sanjeev said, potholes are there, urban infrastructure is so bad. If you go to Banaras, you actually are pained to see the civic conditions out there.
I mean, it's so bad, even by all our standards. It's
so
horrific,
bad.
you know.
A white shirt, I don't know, gets into what color by evening, I don't know.
I mean, I let go of my car and I say, मैं पैदल जाऊंगी, rickshaw में जाऊंगी, you know, because journalists are usually running. Yeah, you're always with a gaadi. I let go of it the minute you enter Varanasi.
And then you have tourists from all over the world, because you showcase Banaras as that, and Har Har Mahadev, of course, is a thing. Har Har Modi, of course, is another controversy. But then Modi's, when he went to Banaras, he talked about development. Now, on one hand, these elections are polarized on so-called secular communal divide. On the other, Modi has selling a dream of development of Banaras. He devoted one complete blog saying that Banaras will show the way to India and what he can do in Banaras. I have a feeling that Modi should be sincere. If at all Modi has an ambition to make a mark in Indian history, if at all he becomes Prime Minister, then he has, or as an MP, he has to show something to have done for Banaras. My hunch is, if he wins, he should win from both the seats. That is not in question. He would stick, and he should stick to Banaras. He will relinquish Baroda in any case and will stick to Banaras, and we will do something. Because if he gives a message from Banaras, this message will be for India, because Banaras also has an emotional connectivity. See, Buddhist center is also there, Sarnath is there. Then you have a whole lot of people from India and outside India coming to Banaras. If he can do something for Banaras, and that part is also capturing imagination of people of Banaras. Modi's decisiveness and strong leader and so on and so forth is there. If you heard Ajit Singh, for instance, in last few days, on one hand, when Ajit Singh tries to address to his own constituency, Jats and Muslims, because these two had been his vote bank for. In fact, on their support, he used to win these elections. What does he say? On one hand, he says, मोदी आएगा तो सत्यानाश हो जाएगा, हर दिन वेस्टर्न यूपी में आग लगेगी, दंगे होंगे, फसाद होंगे, and then narrates as to how their names would be going to figure out in cases. And then he talks about Modi is selling you a dream. Modi आपको एक सपने दिखा रहा है. Why I am bringing Ajit Singh into here? Because that shows the kind of politics and the political discourse that is going on in UP, even if there is a polarization. Then he says Modi is selling you a dream which he cannot fulfill. He cannot deliver you jobs. He cannot deliver you roads here. This is work of state government. This can only be done by the state government, and of course. So Modi is selling a dream what can Ajay Rai offer on the platter? What can Arvind Kejriwal offer on the platter?
Can I just say one thing that, we keep talking about secular communal because I was there and I saw Arvind's rally. It went on for 6 hours that day in Banaras. And his attack is going to be economic. We are missing the point here. He is speaking because there is a very huge trading Banya community there. Just you may have the
in
figures.
fact, Banya vote is about 1
Okay,
lakh.
now so those who imagine that Aam Aadmi Party is appealing to this pristine, non-ideological thing, they have it. Rakhi Barla will move there. She will go with a particular section of the Jatals. Because I know the areas where he was welcomed and where he was not. He himself is going to appeal to the Banya thing, and he's going to make a big deal about this FDI getting your small industry, or he was talking about all that. The press didn't pick all that up, the media. He's appealing to these small things, that what will happen to your businesses when this big FDI comes in. He's appealing to the trading sentiment of Varanasi.
Alright.
Now, so it's a very interesting campaign, whether it will work or not. It's not going to be on this that Modi is thing. There's going to be a lot of economic content to the Aam Aadmi approach.
All right, but the Congress, Sanjeev, on the other hand, seems to be playing a little bit of a conventional card as far as Murli Manohar Joshi's withdrawal or forceful exit from Banaras goes, and they're trying to sort of, the message is out that the Brahmin vote shouldn't go with the BJP because the Brahmin leader was shunted out and an OBC was brought in.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is that even Murli Manohar Joshi, he didn't do anything for Banaras. So, as far as a Brahmin being shunted out, he really didn't do anything. So that's not going to help the Congress's cause in any way. I do agree with what Sabha was saying, that we will see a lot of, the Aam Aadmi Party movement will start a bit late. But on the same thing, we're also going to see Narendra Modi's team also coming in, because they know that it's not going to be an easy fight, especially with the kind of reports that are coming that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to make inroads into the so-called Muslim vote bank, and they are calling people from across the country to come and help the campaign at a door-to-door level. So it's going to be a very keen contest between two players. One, an established player who wants to tell the whole world that he is here to stay, and the second one who's taking on the established lot, and he wants to send the message across that as far as you talk about polarization or taking people on the emotional pitch, there is a way in which you can cut that, as what Sabha was saying, that bring in the economic angle to it. And as far as the Congress goes, yes, of course, it's Priyanka Gandhi who gave the ticket to Mr. Rai. So why can't she just travel three hours and just go and campaign for him?
Exactly, yeah.
Interesting point, but Sanjay, what would you say as far as the votes go? I'm just looking at a permutation combination chart that I have, and it certainly seems that, if there is that kind of consolidation that you've seen in Western UP that you were just mentioning, that happens over here in Banaras, then it's an easy road for Modi. If that doesn't happen, if somehow the campaign, then perhaps it boils down to the campaign, who is able to influence which community.
Ishana, I'm afraid in these elections, particularly in UP or in Bihar, we are looking things from slightly conventional perspective.
Okay.
This is not happening out there, at least how I perceive it.
The economic agenda won't find
I'm
any...
talking
Obviously,
only in Varanasi, only because of Kejriwal, not all over. I don't think but Kejriwal will make it so, because he's proved to be, it's a new player there, and not everybody wants Narendra Modi.
Has lost ground even in Delhi. Kejriwal has lost his own workers. I know several Aam Aadmi workers, even Aam Aadmi prominent ministers who were in Delhi. They have lost that kind of guts, that stamina, that vigor, that support they had. And
Sanjay, I feel that yesterday in the Bastis and the minorities, there was an overwhelming turnout for
I 100%
Aam
agree
Aadmi.
with you, Sabha.
So
I 100% agree with you.
Middle class, yes.
I 100%.
But even in Banaras, there is still an underclass. There are still minorities.
He worked in Delhi for long. He has so far not worked out there in Banaras. Of course, there is a great deal of media presence, media hype about Kejriwal, because
the media is attacking him. Where is the presence? The hype is only about Modi.
But in any case,
Kejriwal is being smashed
his
by the
retention
media.
is there. His retention is there. In any case, his retention is there. Even if somebody waves a black flag or not, his retention is there. Murli Manohar Joshi, as the question you asked with Sanjeev, he was a Brahmin candidate or Laji Tandon, for instance, Murli Manohar Joshi, in any case, if there was one seat which BJP would have considered to have lost if Murli Manohar Joshi had contested from there. Everybody knows that out there in Banaras, even Joshi's supporters know that. That was one seat which otherwise was confirmed to have lost. Now, Brahmins, do you think in such a polarized situation, Brahmins would kind of desert BJP just because there is too much of OBC talk out there, just because Modi sells himself as an OBC? My point is that, of course, these votes are going to go somewhere, but these votes will only come to the candidate who can show that he has something on his own on the table.
On that, I agree with Sanjay. One of the rare points that I don't think Brahmins are going to, I mean, the political class, the Brahmins will, but overwhelmingly they will not, because they won't have the other option looking viable. I agree.
All right, Sanjeev, as far as Ajay Rai is concerned, does he bring anything to the table to this fight? We've seen, Sabha was mentioning that Kejriwal at least has an economic agenda for the Banya community, as they say, and perhaps that could be his game plan. But what does Ajay Rai bring to the table?
Well, his game plan is simple. He's the only local candidate who's in the fight. So he's going to bring that up. And he knows all the players. See, he was a BJP man. He won thrice on a BJP ticket as an MLA. So he knows all the BJP people and how they work. He, of course, has his ears to the ground. The only thing going against him is the fact that he was given a ticket so late. Had he been given the ticket about 2 weeks earlier, I think things would have been a lot different. But, in such a scenario where, as what we're talking about is that it's not going to be a conventional campaign in Banaras. Let us also keep in mind that even the voters of Banaras are not conventional. So it's pretty dynamic how it's going to be. And I would perhaps go with what Sabha is saying, give it another week's time and see which way the wind is blowing. But between Arvind Kejriwal and Ajay Rai, whoever seems to get the advantage right now, that's where the Muslim votes will be headed. And it's not going to be as easy as Sanjay sir says that, it'll all sway in favor of Narendra Modi.
Sanjay, would you like to counter that?
No. These are perceptions, and as you see this thing on the ground, I don't think there is a real fight out there. This is one-way election.
No,
yes, the issue is of margin. Issue is of margin. Issue is of margin.
Giving a fight, but don't be surprised. I mean, what you'll find is the BJP may do very well in many places. Lucknow one is hearing that there's a fight there.
Amritsar one is hearing there's a fight.
So the leadership, you never know. And I would not underestimate, and I'm not saying AAP is at all relevant anywhere else. It's only the Varanasi fight. Because you've got this guy himself, he's so tenacious, and you have this social composition of the city. It's not impossible for them to give him a really tough fight. And in the future, presuming that Modi is about to become PM, Sanjay, in the future, the agendas are going to be economic. The Hindu-Muslim thing will carry on. Who's going to give him a fight to the economic agenda? It's going to be Kejriwal with his already Adani, Ambani. He's at it. I know the agenda. What does Mr. Modi going to do? He's going to clear lots of projects instantly, right?
Is that a part of the conversation? I mean, you've been traveling across UP. The Adani Ambani factor, has that Kejriwal rhetoric caught up?
That's in Delhi.
I'm afraid not. It has its own kind of you can say, it's not exactly a spiral effect, but it has some unusual, unexpected effect on the other side. If you see in Delhi, what happened, he of course has the support base. His support base out there in JJ clusters and so on and so forth is intact. Then you have a situation where despite Imam Bukhari's appeal for Muslims to vote for Congress, Yahya Bukhari makes a counter appeal. And not exactly a counter appeal, challenges his own brother and then talks about AAP. The situation out there in Chandni Chowk area is that 90%, I could be wrong by 5% or 10%, but you can say overwhelming majority of votes of Muslim community went to Aam Aadmi Party. You also have this lower income group strata, which is very substantive. In these elections in Delhi, I would not be kind of surprised and that they hold the key in these elections and may swing balance in some constituencies. It may not be 7-0 as some people are predicting. that could be the situation. So what I'm saying, Ambani, Adani is actually not figuring in popular discourse. If that was the case, Arvind Kejriwal would have won, I don't know,
No, it
50,
is
70
because
or
I
80
went to some bastis and people are saying, देखिए जी, कुछ लोग तो मोदी का कह रहे हैं in this not संगम विहार area. लेकिन वो तो उसको तो उद्योगपति को लाना है, तो हमारी सारी वो तो जमीन सब हमारी दे देगा. हमने पिछली बार दिया था, लेकिन अब हम आम आदमी को दे रहे हैं. It's strange reasons people have. So the economic thing is also percolating down. Urban slums, because one of the orders Kejriwal passed, which may not be noticed in the media, was that no homeless person will be removed, no basti will be removed. These are things which the bastiwalas hear.
See,
It's
urban
never
slums,
happened.
which-
It's even
But
Sheila Dikshit
I
never
bring
did.
it back to Banaras because I absolutely
Yeah.
run out of time. It's such a conversation that I was so caught up in. We're almost over time now.
Yeah.
But final comments, any word of advice for Narendra Modi, Kejriwal or Rai? Sabha, we'll start with you.
For, you want me to give advice to
why not?
Narendra
You
Modi?
gave, there was a rumor that you'd given advice to somebody to sit down. You asked Mukhtar Abbas, Ansari.
No. When I went to Varanasi,
Yeah.
so there's this guy called Jamal Lari, who's his local contact. So then I was doing my stuff. I went around the Bundkar area. It's very poor, the poorest part of the city. It's where they weave the looms. They live with the looms and they spend hours, with their feet under the thing. So I went to meet him. It's my job, I've met Shahabuddin. I've met lots of them. I met Raja Bhaiya when he came out of jail. So over the years, I've covered the Hindi heartland well. It's not a big deal to. If you do that, you meet the dons also.
Yeah.
So I have no. It was not Mukhtar Ansari, but I met his guy Jamal Lari, who was quite a pleasant sort of a character. If you in just a chatting way. And he said, Mukhtar bhai खड़े हो रहे हैं. So I said, आप लोग क्यों खड़े हो रहे हैं? आप पहले तो आप I basically said to him that basically look, he's a gunda, he's in jail, he's in public perception is bad. Why you get there? You'll communalize the situation. And the entire BJP was very anxious for Mukhtar to stand.
Yeah.
Because I spent time in the BJP office. Look, the party I've covered the longest, where I have the maximum contacts, is the BJP. I've spent the longest time covering it. So I went to the party office. Now what's very interesting, if Ajay Rai is from the old BJP, the thing is, there are some various castes which are pretty rattled, but they're saying, bahut paisa aa gaya. I'm talking about local level leaders. The party office was buzzing at 8 o'clock at night. But there are little resentments. Now, I don't know at what level people can be appeased or whether they can really are in any position to do any damage, or if Mr. Ajay Rai is of the level of a player who can then subvert because he knows the players within. I don't think so, because the kind of, he's just sort of, I don't know him, but I doubt. But one can imagine a scenario like that. But I think the Modi thing is two-way gone. But he will get a contest. To imagine, because the demographics of Varanasi are such, that to imagine that everybody is going to vote for Modi would be a mistake.
All right, fair enough. Sanjay sir, last comment?
See, these are, of course, most interesting elections, and most of the days that I'm going to spend is out there in Varanasi, of all the places that I'll travel. So that again says the importance of Varanasi. Also important is neighboring constituency Azamgarh, where Mulayam Singh has gone just because Narendra Modi has gone there. Of course, he is also building this constituency for his other son, Pratik Yadav. That is besides the point. But then Banaras, of course, is the most interesting election happening out there. So
anybody's guess right now at this stage. If we'll have to
not anybody's guess. As they say,
we'll have to wait and watch.
There is no cliche. I'll put my
the
bet on it.
The easiest thing nowadays to
easiest
say is that Modi will become PM. Easiest thing. It
But
doesn't require.
my hunch is, Ishan, I'll say one thing, that the perception I got, the assessment I made, the kind of language that I heard from various sides, and then I have a feeling that the way things are developing out there in UP, from a development discourse which began, Modi of course talks about development, but what is happening on the ground level is slightly distressing and also disturbing. Because if polarization is happening that way, I think it's a cause of concern.
Because that's the only way. No, because I'll tell you, this development thing is all nice, and it's been this huge, the blockbuster campaign of history, Indian history. That's fine. But ultimately, this wave is going to be created out of polarizing. It's going to be a Hindu consolidation. This, and we're going to get lost in the word of wave. It's going to be a Hindu consolidation for UP.
All right. So my producer will be shouting in my ear that we need to wrap this up. So we'll wrap this up. But I'd like to invite all of you to continue this conversation, because I think in a week from now things will be more clearer. And as we head towards the election in Banaras, we'll have this conversation once more. Thanks so much, Sabha and Sanjay, for coming in, and thanks so much, Sanjay, for joining us via Skype. Well, that's it on this conversation. But the conversations, of course, continue right over here. You can log in and post your comments on IndiaPostLive.com, or use our Twitter handle at IndiaPostLive, or hashtag IndiaPostLive to your tweets. So the conversation continues right here. Stay tuned.